वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य सेवर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री द्वारकापुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। पतित पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की जय। श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकानाथ की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, Explanation of Devotional Service, Text 24. aham uccā-avacaiḥ dravyaiḥ kriyayotpannayānaghe naiva tuṣyercitourcāyāṁ bhūta-grāmāvamāninaḥ aham uccā-avacaiḥ dravyaiḥ kriyayotpannayānaghe naiva tuṣyercitourcāyāṁ bhūta-grāmāvamāninaḥ aham uccā-avacaiḥ dravyaiḥ kriyayotpannayānaghe naiva tuṣyercitourcāyāṁ bhūta-grāmāvamāninaḥ. aham uccā-avacaiḥ dravyaiḥ kriyayotpannayānaghe naiva tuṣyercitourcāyāṁ bhūta-grāmāvamāninaḥ aham uccā-avacaiḥ dravyaiḥ kriyayotpannayānaghe naiva tuṣyercitourcāyāṁ bhūta-grāmāvamāninaḥ aham uccā-avacaiḥ dravyaiḥ kriyayotpannayānaghe naiva tuṣyercitourcāyāṁ bhūta-grāmāvamāninaḥ. Aham, I, ucca-avacaiḥ, with various dravyaiḥ, paraphernalia, kriyayā, by religious rituals, utpannayā, accomplished, anaghe, O sinless mother, na, not, eva, certainly, tuṣye, am pleased, arcitaḥ, worship, arcāyām, in the deity form, bhūta-grāma, to other living entities, avamāninaḥ, with those who are disrespectful. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. My dear mother, even if he worships with proper rituals and paraphernalia, a person who is ignorant of my presence in all living entities never pleases me by the worship of my deities in the temple. Purport. There are 64 different prescriptions for worship of the deity in the temple. There are many items offered to the deity, some valuable and some less valuable. It is prescribed in Bhagavad-gītā, if a devotee offers me a small flower, a leaf, some water or little fruit, I will accept it. The real purpose is to exhibit one's loving devotion to the Lord. The offerings themselves are secondary. If one has developed loving devotion to the Lord and simply offers many kinds of foodstuffs, fruits, and flowers without real devotion, the offering will not be accepted by the Lord. We cannot bribe the Personality of Godhead. He is so great that our bribery has no value, nor has he any scarcity, since he is full in himself. What can we offer him? Everything is produced by Him. We simply offer to show our love and gratitude to the Lord. This gratitude and love for God is exhibited by a pure devotee who knows that the Lord lives in every living entity. As such, temple worship necessarily includes distribution of prasad. It is not that one should create a temple in his private apartment or private room, offer something to the Lord and then eat. Of course, this is better than simply cooking foodstuffs and eating without understanding one's relationship with the Supreme Lord. People who act in this manner are just like animals. But the devotees who wants to elevate himself to the higher level of understanding must know that the Lord is present in every living entity, and as stated in previous verse, one should be compassionate to other living entities. A devotee should worship the Supreme Lord, be friendly to the persons who are on the same level, and be compassionate to the ignorant. One should exhibit his compassion for ignorant living entities by distributing prasad. Distribution of prasad to the ignorant masses of people is essential for persons who make offerings to the personality of Godhead. Real love and devotion is accepted by the Lord. Many valuable foodstuffs may be presented to a person, but if a person is not hungry, all such offerings are useless for him. Similarly, we may offer many valuable items to the deity, but if we have no real sense of devotion and no real sense of Lord's presence everywhere, then we are lacking in devotional service. In such a state of ignorance, one cannot offer anything acceptable to the Lord. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So I seek blessings of all devotees so that I can speak something glorifying Lord for all of your pleasure and for my purification. So in this chapter we see that Kapila Deva very nicely is explaining about devotional service to Mother Devahuti. And Devahuti had asked initially 3 questions at the start of this chapter, and in answer to that Kapil Dev explains about devotional service in different modes, devotional service in mode of beyond the modes, and then last 2 verses and this verse he is explaining the obstacle in such performance of devotional service. So in today's verse he is mentioning that, my dear mother, even if he worships with proper rituals and paraphernalia, person who is ignorant of my presence in all living entities never pleases me by the worship of my deities in the temple. So here the word, avamāninaḥ, with those who are disrespectful, Prabhupada translate. That's very important. So in the purport, Prabhupada is stressing how the devotion matters more than what we offer to Krishna. Has been, and then a devotee should see everybody in the equal vision. So today we will discuss that how to, what are the effect of this being disrespectful, amāninaḥ, and what is the remedy for that. So that in Chaitanya Charitamrita we know about one person, Gopal, right? So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to perform this Sankirtan movement in the house of Srivas Thakur, many innocent people, they wanted to be part of it, but they were denied. And many smart Brahmanas, who were born in the Brahman family, considering themselves to be the torchbearer of Sanatana Dharma, many of them, they had become, angry. They said that, because they were not having proper understanding, they were thinking, why the Lord has started this chanting and why we are barred, we are Brahmanas, the foremost in the society. We should be there first actually. That was their understanding. And one of their leader was, this person called as Gopal. And this person, he not only criticized Srivas Thakur, but he went to one step further. What he did was, he took this paraphernalia to worship Mother Kali, the meat and the wine and all untouchable, and he put it in front of house of Srivas Thakur. So his plan was next day, he did it in the night, so his plan was next day, he'll come and he'll shout to the whole world that you think the Srivas and the devotees are genuine people, but no, they are actually worshipper of Kali. They seduce young women and they do all obnoxious activities, and that way defame him and gratify his ego that he's the one who is the torchbearer of Sanatana Dharma, is that great Brahman. So this Gopal, he did that in the night. He put everything, and the next day morning, when Srivas Thakur opened the door, he saw it. He did not try to hey, it's not me. Rather, he called all the respectable people of the society and he said, look, what I do. You think I am a great devotee? I am just a pretender. But all those people, they were knowing actually who Srivas Thakur was. So they themselves actually cleaned the whole house, and they said that yes, Srivas Thakur, you don't have to tell us, we know who you are. You are a genuine Vaishnava, and this is act of some envious person who is trying to criticize, who is criticizing you basically. And then on the same day, this Gopal who has criticized Srivas Thakur, he got a leprosy. So this Gopal, he had a beautiful nose, it fell off, his fingers fell off, just melted, leprosy disease. Nowadays we don't see, but it was pretty severe disease. And because it was contagious, they threw him out of the town of Navadvip. So such a pride, a leader of a Brahmana, very proud person, he had to live alone in the banks of Ganges outside the town of Navadvip. Nobody was even going in that direction. So one day Lord Chaitanya was walking on the bank of Ganges. So this Gopal Chapal, he said, "Oh Lord, please, forgive me and have this, mercy, kindly relieve me of this pain." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was angry like fire. He said, "You suffer like this for millions of births." And he just left from that. So we see that this effect of criticism, what happened, that he immediately got leprosy actually, right? Now many times what happens is that we see people around, some of them, they keep on going criticizing devotees, nothing happens to them actually. And the people who is doing this criticism, they feel, oh, actually what I am telling is correct only. See, my nose is not falling, my fingers are not falling, I am hell and healthy, rather my follow up on the Facebook and Instagram, they are increasing to hear my criticism, right? So actually that's very risky. See, when Lord is concerned about someone, he gives immediate reaction. Let's give another example. This Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had a son-in-law. His name was Amogha. So this fellow had a habit of finding faults. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he knew this, that he's a kind of a troublemaker. So he had invited Lord Chaitanya to his house and other devotees for prasadam, and he himself stood guarding the door so that this Amogha doesn't enter and start criticizing devotees. But when the devotees came, they started serving prasad. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya kind of went with the flow, started serving. And that moment when he was little inattentive, this Amogha entered and he saw Lord Chaitanya was sitting, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had served big amount of prasad to Lord. His love, like he was offering with love and devotion. It's mentioned, right? Like we had a Gaur Purnima festival and our kitchen team headed by Vaninath Prabhu, they made a huge feast. Lord is not hungry for that. Lord wants our love, right? So devotees, they offer with love and gratitude, and Lord accepts. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya he wanted Lord to eat, because how much Lord can eat. As a Govardhan, he ate everything, whatever was available in the all the villages, and he again said, Ani or give me more, right? So he had put considerable amount of prasadam on his plate, and this Amogha came and he said, just see, he calls himself a sannyasi and he's eating a food which can be fed to 12 people. And when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya heard this, he ran behind Amogha to hit him with the stick. But Amogha was, young, he ran away. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he started cursing him, let this fellow die immediately, He has the audacity to criticize Lord Chaitanya. His wife, she started to, beat her chest, and she said, let my daughter Sati be widow. That means let this son-in-law be died, And then both of them, they fell at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya said, no, whatever he was saying was true only, don't worry, He was just laughing, he did not take it seriously. And then Lord took, of course, prasad, he went. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife, they said, we'll fast till death, because we invited Lord, and instead of serving him, we got him this criticism which was not actually supposed to be there. So they're very unhappy. And what happened to Amogha? He immediately got cholera, and it was so severe that he was on his deathbed. So some devotee went and they told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that this Amogha is about to die. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately comes and he says to Amogha, you are supposed to be, you are a Brahmana, your heart is supposed to be clean, which is where Lord Krishna can reside. So why you have kept this envy in your heart, and why this why you are criticizing devotee? Just take it out and chant this name of Lord Krishna. And then immediately when Lord touches his lotus hand to this Amogha's head, he says he names of Lord Krishna, and then he gets Krishna prem, and then even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he becomes very happy later. So because Lord was concerned, Amogha got immediate reaction. But the people who think that I'm going on criticizing, but I'm not getting any reaction. We have to understand that their position is very risky, because Lord is allowing the material nature to take its effect, and when the results will come, they would be devastating. So we have to be very much careful about this mentality of disrespecting others. What to speak of Vaishnava, not even other living entities. I was reading one letter Srila Prabhupada has written. He says that one devotee was criticizing Godman. So Prabhupada said, what is use of criticizing and creating enemies in public forum? He said, if there is private discussion, we can tell, but we should not unnecessarily criticize. So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, every day we sing, Trunadapi sunichena taroriva saishnuna amanina manadhena kirtaniya sadahri. So he is saying that giving all respect to others and expecting none in return. Of course, in addition to being tolerant, being humble than blade of grass and tolerant than tree. In that state of mind only we can chant the holy names of Lord constantly. So back to our story, Gopal Chapal, right? So Gopal Chapal was suffering, and then Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he went to Jagannath Puri, and Gopal Chapal kept suffering in that state. And then he did what we are supposed to do if we have criticized. That what? He sincerely started repenting. So initially when he had got a leprosy and he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it was more from a bodily platform. He was not actually repenting. I am in physical pain. I am alone, here outside the home. I am like orchestrated. Right? Please help me. So he was not actually repenting. He did not realize. But when that extended period of suffering continued, he reflected what he actually done, and he genuinely started repenting. That he really criticized for no good reason. That was his completely mistake, and within his heart of hearts he was feeling that remorse. So then after that, when Lord Chaitanya was trying to go for Vrindavan first time, he went to place called as Kuliya, and there all these offenders, they had come begging for Lord's mercy, and even this Gopal Chapal comes. So Lord Chaitanya said, you had offended Shivas, go and beg his forgiveness. And Shivas Thakur was of course there with Lord, and he said, I was never offended. So in this purport also, right, Prabhupada says that devotee sees Lord in everybody's heart and he is respectful. So being a perfect Vaishnava, Shivas Thakur did not take that offense. And then when Shivas Thakur said that, Lord Chaitanya embraced this Gopal Chapal, and immediately his body became completely transformed, formed a effulgent Vaishnava, and then he got this love of Godhead. So the important point is that first of all we should not criticize. Okay, if we have a position to correct someone, it should be done in a mood of, Prabhu, you are an amazing Vaishnava, but you have this shortcoming which is not good for you. So as a well-wisher, I am telling you, please improve on this aspect. And not, hey, that fellow did that, and kind of putting on Facebook, today this person said these bad words to this devotee, Hari Bol, he deserved it. That is the worst thing we can do, right? So, like Savas Prabhu always says, stay in your lane, right? So we have to, see, it is said that Krishna, if we offend Krishna, it's okay one time. Of course we should not, but it's okay. But if we offend his devotees, then Krishna says, even I cannot forgive you. That famous example of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, right? It is said when somebody is walking in the hot sun, and if he doesn't have slippers, sun is burning his head, but the more pain is on the soles. So all the devotees, they are so much attracted to Lord's lotus feet, they are hanging around there. So if we do something wrong with the devotees, if we do this avamāninaḥ criticism, it's like pinching Lord with a pin, his lotus soles. So we need to keep reminding ourselves, and in case by mistake it has done in a fit of rage or insanity, whatever say, we should repent, and we should go and beg forgiveness from that devotee. In these both cases, like Amoga, He was, of course, again, he reformed himself. Gopal Chapal, he had this sincere remorse, so he got reformed. But there was another case of Ramachandra Puri, another devotee. He was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. See, he was like guru to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? And that person criticized, his guru Madhavendra Puri. He kind of he misunderstood his separation from Lord when he was in, doing his living pastimes. He said, "Oh, where is Krishna? Where is, Vrindavan? I have wasted my life." So this is Ramachandra Puri, not understanding his elevated position. He said, "Oh, at least remember Brahman, you will get some benefit." So Madhavendra Puri said, "Just get out from my, sight." And then, of course, Ishwar Puri served Madhavendra Puri, and, he went back to spiritual world. Of course, is the great Madhavendra Puri. But this Ramachandra Puri, because he offended his spiritual master, he got a habit of finding faults. He came to, Jagannath Puri, and that time he saw ants coming from Gambhira, line of ants. So he said, "Just see, you see the line of ants? That means this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must be eating sweet in secret, hiding. Otherwise, why there are ants?" And because he was like, disciple of Madhavendra Puri, nobody could even, the devotees their blood used to boil, how he can say like that. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "No, never offend him." And he stopped actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to eat already very less. He even reduced that actually, because of, his criticism. But later, because there was no remorse, no nothing, this Ramachandra Puri fell down from spiritual path. So he had opportunity to go back to spiritual world. Instead, he went north or south, what they call it. He went south, right? So this is very important, that we should be very careful not criticizing. And if we somehow it happened to happen, then with that same mouth, glorify that devotee. So today we'll end with one Vaishnava song. Here, this devotee, he is offering respects and glorifying all the devotees. So let's sing together. Rather, I'll start, you please follow. Okay. Or maybe we can do the translation first and then we'll sing. Okay. Thank you. So he says that first of all I offer glorification to the feet of all the Vaishnavas of Vrindavan. And he says, praising all the Mahaprabhu's Nilachal associate, I prostrate at their feet. I pray for loving attachment to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu's Navadvip Bhaktas. So he called Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri and Mayapur. Then he goes on to say, I offer pranams at the feet of all Mahaprabhu's Gaudadesh, Bengal devotees. With upraised arms, I pray to the feet of all Gauranga's Bhaktas, in whichever country they may reside. Holding a straw between my teeth, I submit at the feet of all the servants of Mahaprabhu that were or will be. So even he is offering obeisances to all of you. I have heard their glorification in the Vedas and Puranas, which proclaim that each one of his devotee has a Shakti to deliver an entire universe. Hearing of their glory, I have come with great eagerness to surrender to Mahaprabhu's Bhaktas, who are all Patita Pavan for sinners like me. What power do I have to glorify them? But out of my ignorance and unmitigating pride, I do so anyway, thinking myself so qualified. Even though I am dumb and unable to express their greatness, still my heart is joyful due to my great good fortune that the Vaishnavas have accepted me as their own, and Shri Gauradev has given me Harinam full of blissful pastimes. Forgive the faults of this fallen soul and make me your servant. They awarded the perfection of all desires, including freedom from death, and even that rarest treasure not found in this world, Prema. All of one's pure, heartfelt desires will be fulfilled without delay. Devaki Nandan Das, intensely eager for this, glorifies and prays to the Vaishnavas. So we'll sing and then I'll tell who this, devotee was. Okay. Vrindavana vasiyata Vaishnaveraga प्रथम वंदना करू सभार चरण वृंदावन वासी यत वैष्णवे कान प्रथम वंदना करू सभार चरण नीलाचल वासी यत महाप्रभुर्गन भूमि ते पोडिया वंदो सभार चरण नीलाचल वासी यत महाप्रभुर्गन भूमि ते पोडिया वंदो सभार चरण नवद्वीप वासी यत महाप्रभुर्भक्त सभार चरण वंदो अनुरक्त महाप्रभुर्भक्त सभार चरण वंदो महाप्रभुर्भक्त जत गौड़ देश स्थिति सभार चरण वंदो करिया प्रणति महाप्रभुर्भक्त जत गौड़ देश स्थिति सभार चरण वंदो करिया प्रणति जय देश जय दश बैसे गौरांगे रगा ऊर्ध्व बाहु करी वंदो सभार चरण गौरांगे रगा ऊर्ध्व बाहु करी वंदो सभार चरण हयाचे नहई बेन प्रभुर जत दास सभार चरण वंदो दंते करी घास सभार चरण वंदो दंते करिगा ब्रह्मांड तारिते शक्ति धरे जने जने ये वेद पुराण गुण गाया जे बासुने तारिते शक्ति धरे जने जने ये वेद पुराण गुण गाया जे बासुने महाप्रभुर गण सब पतित पावन ताई लोभे मुई पापी लैनो शरण महाप्रभुर गण सब पतित पावन ताई लोभे मुई पापी लैनो शरण वंदन करिते मुई कत शक्ति धरी तमो बुद्धि दोषे मुई दंभ मात्र करी कत शक्ति धरी तमो बुद्धि दोषे मुई दंभ मात्र करी तथापि मुकेर भाग्य मनेर उल्लास दोष क्षमी मोधमे कर निज दास तथापि मुकेर भाग्य मनेर उल्लास दोष क्षमी मोधमे कर निज दास सर्ववांच सिद्धि यम बंध छुटे जगत दुर्लभ हया प्रेम धन लुटे सर्ववांच सिद्धि यम बंध छुटे जगत दुर्लभ हया मनेर वासना पूर्ण चिराते हाय देवकी नंदन दास ये लोभिकाय लोभिकाय वृंदावन वासी जत वैष्णवे रगा प्रथम वंदना करो सभार चरण वृंदावन वासी जत वैष्णवे रगा प्रथम वंदना करो सभार चरण जय श्री वैष्णव गण की जय. So you know who this Devaki Nandan Das was? Yeah, he was same Gopal Chapal who had burned his whole body actually, by criticizing devotees. So to summarize, here Kapil Dev is telling Devahuti about that if somebody is disrespectful to other living entities and especially devotees, then even if he does excellent deity worship, Krishna doesn't care. He won't be happy. So, and Prabhupada is again mentioning that devotee, he sees everybody part and parcel of Lord, and he respect everyone. And we saw this three pastimes. One, Gopal Chapal, who criticized Srivas Thakur, Amoga, who criticized Lord Chaitanya himself, and Ramchandra Puri, who criticized everyone. So because Gopal Chapal had a sincere remorse, and he repented, and he took shelter of Srivas Thakur again Vaishnavas, he was delivered. And same with the Amoga, but Ramchandra Puri, he did not, repent for his mistakes, so he was, he did not perfect his life. So, we also should be very careful, being not disrespectful to the Vaishnavas, and in case we don't know if we have offended someone, this is the Vaishnava song, we can always, sing with hardware player. So take this opportunity to beg forgiveness from all of you, from all the devotees who are listening, in case I have offended or criticized unknowingly, knowingly any devotees. With that, we'd like to stop. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, you mentioned about how we shouldn't criticize others. And what about when a great devotee criticizes the materialist, or he heavily criticizes his disciples, or even sometimes he criticizes his own god brothers? What about that?
Yeah, so that is out of his causeless mercy. Like, a doctor sometimes has to shout that you are sick, and he has to tell what sickness a patient has. So this great devotees, like Prabhupada used to say, the scientist rascals, right? But two of his prominent disciples who were into science, Swarup Damodar, His Holiness Swarup Damodar Maharaja, and was other Ramanand Raya Prabhu, I guess. They were into science field, right? So he kind of used to glorify them that, they are scientists, but how? With the help of science, they are propagating this, Krishna consciousness. So when some great devotee is criticizing someone, actually it is for their benefit. It's for their genuine compassion. They won't derive egoistic pleasure by criticizing, those fallen people. And we have so many examples. Narada, cursing Nalkuer and Manigriv. It was for their actually ultimate benefit. It was not that Narad Muni wanted, come and offer obeisances to me. Nobody has put dandavats today. No, it was not like that. So same is with the case of, Srila Prabhupada. He was sometimes very heavy, Darwin, I kick him with my boots. Used to speak so heavily because what he propagated, that we have come from monkeys, is wrong. So Prabhupada he hated the disease. He did not hate the deceased. So when the great devotees, they do this, criticism, it is just to awaken that conditioned souls, and it's ultimately for their own benefit. It's not for their own, selfish pleasure. Does that answer your question, Prabhu?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. With this, we'd like to stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Devaki Nandan Das Thakur ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.